Welcome to Eugene Cannabis TV. You made episode 560, and we're here with some news stories and things to tell you about. It's about the cannabis, everything to do with cannabis, actually. I want to jump in real quick on some upcoming events I wanted to tell everybody about. We've got the Emerald Empire Hempfest Voluntary Meeting scheduled for this Saturday on the 17th. You can contact us for the location. Also, the Willamette Valley NORML meeting will be Thursday, January 22nd. And again, that's another location that'll be to be announced yet. We got on Thursday, January 22nd. Now, get a pencil and paper because you want to write this down. This is the Oregonians for Industrial Hemp Public Meeting. It's going to be at the World Cafe at 449 Blair Boulevard in Eugene from 5:30 to 7:30. They're saying that the year 2015 will see industrial hemp grown in Oregon. So hear about it, hear about the progress. And on the same night, this is up north, January 22nd at 7 p.m. at McMenamin's Hotel Oregon, 310 Northeast Evans in McMinnville. This is a celebration of the passage of Measure 91 and a fundraiser for next Oregon legislative session for Compassionate Oregon. It's an Oregon Political Action Committee dedicated to protecting the rights of medical marijuana patients and their families. And check them out, their website, that's compassionateoregon.org. And this is a new one came up, I just found out about the other day, July 28th to the 29th, the Oregon Hemp Convention. It's going to be up in Portland. It's benefiting the Oregon Food Bank and the Oregon Humane Society. It's Celebrate Legalization with us at the Portland Expo Center for a good cause, and that's at OregonHempConvention.com. Again, that's OregonHempConvention.com. Not associated with our Hempfest in any way, but it's Jerry Norton, and we know him, a good guy, and so it should be a great event. So put that down in your calendars, and we'll be talking more about that as the time gets closer. Here's an interesting story that came across. I thought it might be of interest to a lot of people. I'm kind of a little bit of a tech nut, I guess, kind of a thing. Enjoy that kind of stuff. Well, this is the 10 Best Cannabis Gadgets that are not at the CES, the Consumer Electronics Show 2015. This is off of a blog, sanfranciscogate.com, dated the 6th of January. This year's International Consumer Electronics Show is now underway in Las Vegas, showing off all the latest technology that will be available to us throughout 2015. CES showcases new tech across different industries such as cell phones, video games, and home appliances. But what about weed? Ever since marijuana has gradually become legal throughout the U.S., technology has provided unprecedented new methods of growing, consuming, and even purchasing cannabis. Since this is one industry that isn't accounted for at CES 2015, here's 10 of the best weed gadgets that won't be mentioned in any keynote address. Ease. This medical marijuana delivery smartphone app has made buying weed akin to ordering a pizza. Users can simply browse the menu and have the top shelf buds delivered to wherever they might be. Although Ease is only currently available in San Francisco, expansion to other markets such as Los Angeles are in the plans. The Firefly Vaporizer. It may resemble the look of an old Nokia cell phone, but this dry herb vaporizer is loaded with new tech. A borosilicate glass heating chamber vaporizes your finest herbs, while a magnetic faceplate keeps the bowl safe from spilling or burning fingers. A must-have for those who still prefer vaping buds instead of concentrates. Again, that's the Firefly Vaporizer. And by the way, you can do a search on that and find these products. I've checked them out myself. The LumiGrow LED lights. Light-emitting diodes, otherwise known as LED, have revolutionized today's lighting systems, be it for streetlights, televisions, and even growing marijuana. LumiGrow's greenhouse lights are twice as effective as normal grow lights while reducing energy consumption by as much as 70%. Growers can expect lower operating costs alongside larger crop yields. Then there's the Turbo Trimmers, that ends with a Z. Trimmers, T-R-I-M-M-E-R-Z, trimmers. Manicuring cannabis is the often unsung last step before it can be properly smoked, getting rid of all the excess stems and leaves with no medicinal value. While trimming a few personal plants with traditional cutters doesn't seem so bad, manicuring entire crops can surely lead to tired hands. Enter Turbo Trimmers, which can effectively trim buds with automatic blades, leaving your hands cramp-free. Turbo trimmers are currently still in the development stage, but expect them to be available soon this year. Vape Exhale Cloud EVO. Those looking for the ultimate desktop vaporizer need look no further than the Cloud EVO. The latest addition to Vape Exhale's stellar product line provides the function of a high-quality vaporizer within the form of a traditional bong. Get full flavor out of your dry herbs through an all-glass vapor path and expert heating system. And if you find yourself getting all nostalgic over bong water, the glass end of the Cloud EVO can even be upgraded with one containing a water filter. The Fumo Pipe, F-U-M-O, Fumo Pipe. This convenient little piece is somewhat of a hybrid, combining the functions of a pipe, water hookah, and steamroller. After riding your bowl, a push-button carb fills the 3-inch glass tube with flavorful smoke. Hardcore chiefers can even switch out the tube for an extended 6, 9, or 12-inch upgrade. The Bud Bomb. This nifty gadget marries the portability and convenience of a handheld pipe with the cool, heavy draw of a bong hit. The smoke travels around an airtight, precision-made helix, guaranteeing a satisfyingly cool and smooth hit each time. For best results, throw the Bud Bomb in the freezer before using it. Incredibowl. Although this pipe bears more resemblance to a spark plug than a smoking accessory, the Incredibowl lives up to its name. This portable device features a heatsink and expansion chamber that provides a smooth, full flavor hit each time. The Incredibowl is also constructed with aircraft grade aluminum and a tube made from shatterproof polycarbonate, the same material as bulletproof glass. So don't expect this thing to break on you anytime soon. The Cannabis Breathalyzer. This one's not good news. It may not sound like the good news that police and highway patrol are likely to implement these breathalyzers this year, but it's great news considering the alternative method. Currently, select law enforcement agencies are using oral swabs to determine a weed DUI. This unreliable method can pick up traces of THC even if it's been several days since the tested person used marijuana, whereas Cannabis's prototype model can determine current THC levels. Taking a Cabinex breathalyzer might actually get you out of trouble depending on the circumstance. Life is Strange. This entity might actually be seen at CES as video game companies compromise a decent chunk of the show floor. Gamers play as a pot-smoking teenage girl navigating through a fictional Oregon town in an attempt to solve the mysterious disappearance of a classmate. Square Enix's episodic drama will premiere on major game consoles later this month, with 4 more episodes be released every 6 weeks. So there you have it. That's what some of the new electronics that are coming out that are cannabis related. So it's always fun to see new products, and that's what I like about a Hempfest. A Hempfest is basically a trade show. So our Emerald Empire Hempfest this summer will be the 3rd weekend in July, and I definitely highly recommend you come to our Hempfest because you'll see things there that you'll never see anywhere else. And this is really excited to hear about this. It's something that really needed to be done. This was in the Portland Tribune, dated the 7th of July this year, written by Colin Staub. Resident Doug Herrera no, see, it's not Herrera, it'd be Hewer, questioned city's authority to approve local tax prior to November vote. An upcoming lawsuit against the city of Newburgh aims to clarify the tax the city council approved on the transfer of marijuana prior to the passage of Measure 91 in November. Doug Hewer filed the lawsuit in early December, asking the city to declare by what authority it levied the tax. We're going against the will of the voters. They're going against the will of the voters, Hewer said. The voters had put it in with Measure 91 that the state would be one to have taxing authority. Hewer cited a proposed 40% tax on marijuana in the city of Fairview and said that case is illustrative of the problem with cities taxing pot. Part of the strategy is to eliminate distribution, he said. This is a similar strategy that played into a Newburgh City Council decision last year to place a moratorium on pot dispensaries for a year, Hewer said. In a sense, the city is saying they don't want it in the city. The lawsuit against Newburgh comes as cities across Oregon are facing similar fights over marijuana taxation. Measure 91 contains clear language prohibiting cities from placing local taxes on marijuana. Despite this prohibition, Newburgh and dozens of cities across the state approved local taxes on recreational and, in some cases, medical marijuana. Hewer said he does not have prior experience suing the city. Began this effort by himself. Since he's been working on it, though, he said he's heard from several lawyers who expressed interest in joining the effort. Hewer has not received an official response from the city yet, but City Attorney Truman Stone said he is aware of the suit and has been in contact with Hewer. I found out about Doug's lawsuit by reading the Newburgh Graphic during breakfast. There was a notice in the legal section, Stone said in an email. The city has yet to be served with a lawsuit, so I can't speak of any specifics. Hewer has posted details of the suit on his Facebook page and will serve the city with an amended version for the official filing. Generally, he is challenging the ordinance that set the marijuana tax, Stone said. The court still needs a few more documents to be filed, at which point Hewer will get together with the city and begin to work toward the final goal of narrowing the issue down to what it is, which is, who has the ability to tax it. Then let the judge decide. So that's going to be interesting to see how we come out on that, because indeed there has been a lot of cities that rubbing their hands over the income. They won't have anything to do with marijuana, but now seeing as how it's legal now, and what the heck, now they're going to make some money on it, and then in doing so, of course, they'll raise the price up, which make people go back on the black market again. And so anyway, it's a vicious circle. Well, we'll be talking about that in the next few shows, I'm sure, as they work towards implementing the law. So we're going to take a break here, and then we'll be back, so stay tuned.
And now a message from the American Marijuana Growers Association.
Hi, I'm a farmer, and I work hard every day to grow high-quality marijuana, the biggest cash crop in these United States. I'd like to thank you for your support of U.S. marijuana policy. Because marijuana is illegal, I don't have to pay taxes. Even better, prohibition leads to artificially inflated prices, which means a better quality of life for me and my family, as long as I don't get caught. Just as importantly, your tax dollars support thousands of U.S. agents who work tirelessly to keep low-grade, foreign marijuana out of our country. So thank you, America. And remember, whether you're nauseated from chemotherapy or just in the mood for a nice cool buzz, choose the best pot in the world, American homegrown.
Welcome back to the second segment of episode 560. We're here as I'm reading news stories, and we're telling you about things that are coming up. This is an interesting article that was in the Denver Post. It was dated the 6th of January, written by John Ingold. New reports give conflicting takes on Colorado marijuana legalization. The number of people being charged for marijuana possession in Colorado has cratered, while the number of people cited for using marijuana in public has skyrocketed. Those are two of the conflicting takeaways from dueling reports that put out this week by groups in favor of or opposed to marijuana legalization. And it shows how the legalization of marijuana use and sales in states like Colorado, far from settling the nationwide debate over pot, has instead given both sides more to fight about. The reports come from two groups, the Pro-Legalization Drug Policy Alliance and the Anti-Legalization Smart Approaches to Marijuana. Both reports look at the impact of legalization in Colorado 1 year into recreational marijuana sales. The Drug Policy Alliance paper reports that citations for marijuana possession in Colorado have dropped from 9,011 in 2010 to a projected 1,464 in 2014, per Colorado judicial data. The Smart Approaches to Marijuana report, meanwhile, states that citations for public marijuana use in Denver jumped from 184 in 2013 to 668 in 2014. Despite legalization, possession of more than an ounce of marijuana by non-medical marijuana patients and public use of marijuana remain illegal. Most of the data in the reports is familiar in the debate over legalization's impacts. The Drug Policy Alliance report notes the tens of millions of dollars in tax revenue that Colorado has collected and points to a statewide decrease in traffic fatalities. The Smart Approaches to Marijuana report cites an increase in accidental marijuana ingestion by kids and a reported increase in marijuana use by Coloradans in 2012 and 2013. Art Way with the Drug Policy Alliance said Colorado's 2014 shows marijuana legalization can be managed successfully. The doomsday vision of those who look to maintain prohibition has not come to fruition, he said. Kevin Sabert, with Smart Approaches to Marijuana, said Colorado needs to do a better job of tracking legalization's consequences. We have 100 kinds of marijuana gummy bears out there, but no way to find out what the costs of such a policy are, he said in his statement. So, anyway, that's the article. That's Kevin Sabet, and we've heard from him before. He's the big anti-pot guy that comes up with the same old arguments that have been debunked, but that doesn't slow him down any. So he going right ahead on it. So anyway, and then we have the public hearing to be held Tuesday on rules for industrial hemp in Oregon. This was in the Oregon Live, which is the internet version of the Oregonian, written by Noel Crombie, dated the 6th of January. Oregon agriculture officials said Monday they are opposing to adopt rules that would allow industrial hemp farmers to plant their crops this spring. The Oregon Department of Agriculture, the agency charged with overseeing industrial hemp production, will hold a public hearing Tuesday on the draft rules. The meeting begins at 9 a.m. at the agency's offices, located at 635 Capitol Street, northeast Salem. Prospective hemp producers say they're happy the state is finally moving ahead with the hemp program, but they said key problems remain. They cited high licensing fees and a prohibition of producing hemp seeds as concerns. Hemp seeds are used as dietary supplements and to make hemp oil, an ingredient in food. Oregon's industrial hemp law requires seeds to be used to cultivate a crop. Senator Floyd Brzezinski, the Democrat in Eugene, a proponent of industrial hemp, said the state's hemp law and the rules that will guide the new industry may need to be tweaked, but they're a good first step. I'm in strong support of us moving forward and getting the rules of the current statute in place, he said. 18 states, including Oregon, have laws defining industrial hemp as distinct from marijuana and have removed barriers to its production, said Lauren Stansbury, a spokesman for the Hemp Industries Association. Only 3 states, Colorado, Kentucky, and Vermont, planted crops this year. Courtney Morin, an attorney with expertise in hemp production, said she hopes the Oregon legislature reduces the minimum acreage required for hemp production from 2.5 acres. She also would like the state to issue special 1-year licenses to producers who want to conduct research on the crop. Moran said high licensing fees, it will cost producers $1,500 for a free 3-year license, have been a huge problem. But she said some producers will move forward anyway. I know a lot of people ready to go, she said. They want to plant this summer. Jerry Norton, a hemp activist from Salem, plans to plant the crop this spring. He said he's begun lining up the equipment and land for hemp production, but said he doesn't have a clear sense of how large his operation will be. Norton echoed the enthusiasm of hemp activists nationwide who said major economic potential in the plant. It could save America, he said. I'm talking about everything from biodiesel fuel to food to health care products to paper. It's endless. There are thousands of applications. And again, that was Jerry Norton, which is the same person that I referenced, is putting on the hemp convention this summer. So again, we'll be letting you know what's going on with that and keeping up on the progress of that event. And this one is out of Montana, but Montanans are having a heck of a time with their medical law, and so this is here's the latest. This is from the Gazette State Bureau, written by Charles S. Johnson, dated January 2nd. Judge blocks implementation of key parts of the medical marijuana law. Helena, a state district judge, late Friday permanently blocked enforcement of some key provisions of Montana's strict 2011 medical marijuana regulation law in a drawn-out legal case that began shortly after its passage. District Judge James Reynolds of Helena permanently enjoined the implementation of certain provisions in the law. These have never taken effect because of his 2011 decision temporarily enjoining these provisions, or the state stipulating it would not enforce them pending the outcome of the case. In its latest decision, Reynolds on Friday permanently blocked enforcement of provisions that would ban the advertising of medical marijuana, forbid the commercial sales for profit of medical marijuana from a provider to someone authorized to obtain the project. The provision essentially meant that medical marijuana card holders had to grow their own pot and forbade any payment to growers except for covering the cost of the provider's application or renewal fee paid to the state. It would restrict a medical marijuana provider from assisting more than 3 people licensed by the state to obtain legal pot or marijuana-infused products, again, without them being able to be paid. Require the state to provide the Board of Medical Examiners with the names of any physician who within a 12-month period has written certification or medical marijuana for 25 or more patients. That would have triggered an automatic review of the physician's practices at his expense by the Board of Medical Examiners. At the same time, Reynolds ruled in the state's favor and refused to enjoin 2 provisions in the law that had been challenged. He had let stand a provision allowing the State Department of Public Health and Human Services and state and local law enforcement agencies to make unannounced inspections of medical marijuana providers during normal business hours. Reynolds also blocked enforcement of another provision forbidding people from probation or under supervision of the Division of Corrections from being able to obtain medical marijuana cards. The Montana Cannabis Industry Association and some individuals challenged the law shortly after its passage in 2011, contending it was unconstitutional on a number of fronts. Attorneys for two different Attorneys General, Steve Bullock, now governor, and Tim Fox have defended the law. Reynolds has ruled on the case twice and the Montana Supreme Court once. The Supreme Court sent the case back to Reynolds and ordered him to rule on it under what's called a rational basis, instead of the strict scrutiny basis he had applied earlier. Reynolds used the less erroneous ratings basis test in his latest decision. Reynolds wrote, "This court has wrestled with the issues of medical marijuana raised in this litigation for over 3.5 years, just as society continues to wrestle with the overarching issue of marijuana generally." He commended the cautious approach by the Montana legislature in passing the medical marijuana law in 2011. It became law without then-Governor Brian Schweitzer's signature. Lawmakers passed the law after Schweitzer earlier that session vetoed a law that would have repealed the 2004 voter-passed initiative that legalized the use of marijuana for certain medical conditions. The legislature passed restrictions in 2011. The 2011 law after seeing a vast increase of Montanans applying for medical marijuana cards starting in mid-2009. That's when so-called cannabis caravans travel the state, often providing cards to patients in 5 or 10 minutes after a brief consultation with a physician, often via the internet. So anyway, that's how it goes. Other states are wrestling with it. Montana has had a real battle, and it seems like the fight continues. But anyway, that's our show for tonight, and I appreciate you coming by, and come by next week and stop by, and come on by the studio. We're behind Sheldon High School on Monday nights at 7:30. Come on by, and we'll see you then. Thank you.